the service manager for Path to Recovery, which is a contract delivered by East London Foundation Trust. We are the adult drug and alcohol treatment providers in Bedfordshire.
And hi, my name is Paul Zara. I work for East London Mental Health Trust, and I manage adult mental health and learning disability services across Bedfordshire and Luton.
Thank you.
Okay, right, first question. Can you tell us what recovery means for you and the people you support?
Can I wanted to acknowledge recovery. I think for our Path to Recovery in CLI, everybody's different. We have over 1,000 people in treatment across Bedfordshire. Do you mind if I go through a spectrum just to kind of give you an idea of people that are in treatment? So we have, and without stereotype and without labelling, we have single white males who are caught up in the criminal justice system, who are potentially injecting, potentially using alcohol, whose mental health is breaking down, who is potentially homeless, or who are revolving door of prison, estranged from their family, to the other end of our spectrum of our clients that are in treatment are, again without stereotyping, the older lady who is a couple of bottles of wine or a bottle of vodka a night. It's a huge spectrum and everything in between. So I think recovery for every single one of them is going to be something different. But for us as an organisation, it's about building on kind of the skills and the kind of knowledge that they come with. It's kind of being aspirational, being inspirational as staff, learning from each other, and the biggest one is of course about change and maintaining that change as well. But I personally am really privileged to work in the field. I've been nearly 20 years now, and some of the stories and everybody's story is different, and we have had clients who have been in service for 10, 15 years who very slowly have come out the other side. So for me that's a difficult question to answer, but I think everybody is different. But it's about change, it's about motivation, it's about being inspired, it's about being aspirational. It's all of those things, I think, yeah. And I'm very lucky to be in the business.
Yeah, I'd certainly reflect those sentiments and thoughts that Zara's expressed. You know, I think there's about 12,000 people use all the services that I manage. Those numbers are quite surprising, aren't they? You know, but across adult mental health and learning disability services. I think that the recovery journey is a very personal and individualised journey for people. When I speak to people, the kind of things that I hear is it's about hopefulness, being hopeful, feeling respected, being in control, included, feeling valued, you know, and you know, kind of perceiving that people respect and value you as well. I think it's about taking control and being empowered to just make choices in your own life, really. I think for me personally, you know, if I ever have any tough times, I think it's always for me about not being in control of something. Whether something at work is out of control, something in my personal life is not quite in control, I need to regain control, you know, or I get a little bit hyper, I may start making bad decisions, you know, I stop seeing what's good in my life around me, for me personally. But that's just so that's my personal, you know, kind of experience when things are tough, as they are for most of us from time to time.
Yeah.
I think a little bit, it's also about lessening the risk. It's lessening the harm to yourself, to your families, to everybody around you, to the community. It's just about kind of looking after yourself and valuing yourself as well. That's a big part of it.
Yeah. All right then. Question 2. What do you think the links between mental health and addiction is?
Well, I think one can often cause the other, you know, and they often coincide, or they often coexist together. I mean, we did, hear quite a bit about how, sometimes using drugs and alcohol is almost kind of self-medicating. That's something that we see a lot, amongst our service user group, where people, may have symptoms of mental health issues, whether it's thought disorders, paranoid feelings, and people with depression and anxiety, and people use alcohol and drugs to self-medicate. Essentially that's a big part of it. And of course, on the other side, use of drugs and alcohol can cause mental health problems. I think the phrase was it's inextricably linked. I think it was Leanne who mentioned that, and it is inextricably linked. I think that's why it's so important to have these partnerships, and to work together across, services and service user groups as well.
We have a large cohort of clients in treatment who have a diagnosis as far as mental health is concerned, but we also have a large cohort of people that self-report for themselves that they feel that their mental health, whether it's depression, anxiety, that there's something very real going on for them. But it's about working together and just supporting in the best way that we can, and trying really hard not to have the chicken and egg and the kind of table tennis if we're, let's not get into that, because that can't happen when there's real people in the middle of all of this. It can't happen.
Right, what is happening in Bedfordshire to connect support for people with mental illness and addiction?
I actually have a little roadmap that we've created at Path to Recovery that actually gives the last 18 months of people in treatment and kind of explains, gives numbers about those dual diagnoses. And I think I'm going to blow our trumpets. I think Paul and I have worked really hard together. We're doing lots of different things to bring the links to get much better. It's hard work for us. Path to Recovery is one service across two, a little bit of Leighton Buzzard hubs. We are trying to link with, I think it's 7 different teams within the community mental health teams. And then we've got the inpatient wards. We've also got crisis, psych liaison. We've got the 2 hospitals as well, who will have people with mental health and drug and alcohol in their services. So we're working really, really hard to just kind of bring those services together. Communication is the key. We are able to see, within ALFT, we're able to see each other's databases, because we have 2 separate databases. So that helps us that should somebody be sitting in front of, say, somebody who's in crisis, say, in A&E, and the psych liaison team needs to go and see them, then they can see, if they haven't been told, whether somebody's actively within P2R, and if they're not, then hopefully refer them. But I think there's lots of things that we're doing. Brian, Councillor Spur, touched on it this morning. We're part of the Drug and Alcohol Partnership Board, and mental health services come and sit with that. Anything and everything that we can be involved together to show that united front definitely is what we're doing.
Yeah, the only thing that I'd add to that, really, I think that's absolutely right. I think it's all about the communication and keeping talking, but I think also it's also about the approach, and the value base, or our desire, to make things long term. If it's just about ticking a box or completing an action plan for this week, because that's what we're being asked to do, that's no good. You'll do something and it'll all fall apart, within a few weeks or a few months. So I think it's about being committed to a project like you guys are to this project, and being committed to this partnership and joint working, and our joint work with SAMAS, and it's a long-term commitment. It's not something that disappears when we get a little tick somewhere.
Absolutely. We never forget that there's somebody in the middle of all of this. Mm-hmm. This is somebody's life that we're talking about. Absolutely.
Okay then, right. What more can we do as SAMAS to help break down the stigma of mental health and addiction?
I've already talked to Bev, your wonderful film. We're already, P2R and CLI are already working together. We're delighted to have you in our premises, in our hubs, doing groups. You guys are coming to our recovery college when we deliver the drug and alcohol awareness. That film needs to come there. You guys need to deliver it there at the recovery college when we're doing drug and alcohol awareness. I'd really like to make use of it for our induction group that we have for new people into service, so that will inspire them and give them some aspiration at the start of their journey. But equally we have other groups where I think the film would be really good. I think the hardest bit for stigma, I think, is the public. That's the bit, people who are not touched, and probably everybody's life is touched by somebody with drugs and alcohol or mental health, but it's a really hard one. But I think it was talked about this morning, if we can get a film into GP practices, if we can get it onto hospital wards, you know, because people are revolving door in the hospitals as well as the prisons. I think your film and other films that you're planning are fantastic. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've kind of talked about all of these kind of opportunities and possibilities, and I think we need to take every opportunity, really. For me, certainly, I think we spoke about it when I came to meet with the group. It's always been about breaking down stigma. I think there's so much that we need to do and that we can do, you know. And I think we've probably all, you know, either observed or experienced some, you know, some pretty negative attitudes out there. I think, Dave, you said it when you were talking earlier. You mentioned about how part of the value of being part of the SAMAS group is not being judged, you know, but we've all probably observed or felt judgmental attitudes and negative attitudes across all organisations. I've seen it within the teams that I manage. You know, I'd like every one of my staff to see the video, but maybe also to target, you know, kind of future videos on, you know, specific things like carer support, or maybe particular experiences that people have, which I know are really hard to share. You know, we saw a lot of bravery this morning on the film, didn't we? You know, but there is there's the best thing to change attitudes is listening to someone's story, because it brings out people's humanity, doesn't it? You know, they see the person, they feel us as an individual person, and that's what changes attitudes. That's why I think this is such a powerful medium to build on.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Any quick questions from the floor?
How did that feel?
Horrible.
It's not nice. It's not nice, Paul.
No, it isn't.
The thing is it needs to be done, because if we don't do it, then how can we expect anybody else to do it? And it's a really important message. See, I'm going to get emotional now. It's a really important message that we need to get out there, you know. I think I'm really astonished about how many numbers you have in service, because I think we scratched the surface within P2R about how many people come through our doors, and our doors are open and we have no waiting lists, and even that message doesn't get out there, and it's just I forgot what the question was, so sorry, but it's just,
Thank you guys anyway,
Right.
generally,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Zara.
lot.
I'd just like to say one thing.
Sorry.
Dave, who's asked the questions, and he was okay, we talked about this morning, he struggled with dyslexia.
well
So
done.
he's really pushed the boundary.
Yeah, well done.
And
Well done.
Jason, sitting there, this is his first real kind of outside of the group. How did that feel, Jason?
To be honest with you, I'd like to let go of this tripod. I need a sturdier table, and I want to let go of the tripod, but yeah.
I think that's a wrap.
But if I'm really sorry,
I beg your pardon, I do apologise.
I was just thinking about social media as a powerful tool for getting the message across. Can you
providing it's
utilise
used
that
in the
within
right
your
way,
own
isn't it?
services, like sharing the video on Facebook, etc.?
Not so much Facebook, because, as we said, there are some people in the organisation that family don't know,
Yeah.
so we can't really put it on. But there is a website you can go to look it up and all that. Like, we're willing to give you the website to go to.
Right.
We are hoping to get it out in other organisations like ours and P2R and stuff like that, and we're looking to other places. But once again, it is one of them things, we have to be careful where we show this, because there are people on these. Okay, it might be just their voices you hear, but we do have to be careful.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And recovery is a very fine, delicate balance for some people, that actually, you know, 1 minute they're on this film talking about recovery and for whatever reason could find themselves fully back starting again, if you like, hopefully not, because of all the tools they've learned, very much back in crisis, needing treatment, needing mental health, hopefully not starting again, but yeah,
Yeah.
we do, all of us, spin on the sixpence, and life is very precious and very fragile, and yeah, we need to be careful.
The one thing we do have to remember, these are people's lives we're talking
Absolutely.
about.
Yeah, sure.
So we have to be
Yeah.
very careful.
Yeah.
Right, thank you, you two.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Brilliant.